I heard that you needed 10 new nasty plays to use in College Football 26. Well, the good news is I got your back. Now, College Football 26 is loaded with some filthy, disgusting plays. There's different motions, different things that you probably have not ever seen before in a football game, and the ones I'm giving you now are going to be legendary. So if you enjoy these, do me a favor. Leave a like in the video and subscribe because we're getting closer to 300,000 subs by the end of the year, and that's my goal. The first one we're talking about today is Penn State's Gungate Fake Jet Verse. This play is going to be nasty because you have some big boys, your offensive line, out in front of your receiver. Now, this play, we don't really need to doctor up much. You can see on your left-hand side, you have wire triangle and two big offensive linemen right next to them. You have your running back in the slot, you have a tight end, you have your B slot receiver, then you have your X out on the far side. The key thing I like to tell people here is run this play with your lineman, your sort of Y and triangle receiver on the short side of the field. When you run this play, your running back is in the slot, it's going to move over to the right-hand side, and more often than not, he's going to be wide open. And you're going to be able to pick up a good amount of yards, especially if they have speed. For your second read, I love to look at your Y or your triangle. Now, they have a lot of guys in the box here, so we probably have a blitz, which should make this even better. They still send some guys over, but as you can see, the blocking for this is going to be insane. And if you've got a fast guy there as your triangle, that's going to be nuts. If you see a too high safety look like this, more often than not, unless that safety moves far, you're not really going to have the guy you want. But your A route slips through those defenders extremely quick and gives you a great look. The route you really want if you see a single high safety look like what Michigan's running here is going to be your B or your circle route. You want to obviously give your time for a little protection. You want to time your throw, but as you can see, this one over the top is going to be crazy. Your second play here is going to be Michigan's wing slot offset double motion halfback toss. What's great about this play is you start out with 80 in the slot and 17 sort of in a 3-point stance, but now 80 now gets to the line. 17 now comes over to bookend that, and you've got a halfback toss going to the outside that the defense is really not going to be prepared for because it's just an entirely different look than what they were expecting. Something I love about this play is that most people would expect you to be running an inside zone if you were to run in this formation, so you could come out, immediately move these guys over by just hiking the ball, and then you now have two guys over here in your short side to then give you some great blocks, and the defense is typically, assuming you get a better block, is not going to be prepared for that online. Up next, we're talking about Ole Miss's Wildcat Deuce Wing Blast, and this is the most hilarious, chaotic play we have in this list. If you're noticing, at quarterback is a man named Harris wearing 51. That is a defensive tackle. This play automatically has a formation sub to put your defensive tackle at QB, and he is pretty much never going to fall backwards. So you get this blast play, short yardage, whatever you need, this guy's going to pick it up. Your quarterback's going to be sitting right next to them, so more often than not, your opponent is probably just confused, but look how many yards you get. I mean, I've run this play probably 60-ish times, and you're going to see the defensive lineman get big-time yardage every time. And you'll see here at the very bottom, defensive tackle at QB. You can slide this along to be your defensive tackle 2 at QB, your nose tackle 2, your tight end 1, your power halfback, a gadget at QB, gadget at halfback. There's a lot of different packages you could ultimately have here, but I think you could play around with it a lot. If you've got a super athletic tight end that also would be great here, go ahead and plug them in. Texas has a great play at a gun normal Y off close called Reload Goal Line Halfback Trail. Now, why I love this play is that there's just a lot of action happening. Your running back is over in the far right side, comes back into the backfield, and is going to hit an angle route, which will be open a lot, especially against man or zone. But you've got a lot of different action here, from a return route from your Y or triangle receiver, a couple of drags built in, you've got sort of a slow crosser, and you have a corner route. And that corner route is really nice when you have your tight end to the short side of the field like we do here, because that's going to clear out a lot of the DBs and that safety, leaving your B route open as well. Now, as soon as you hike this one, your running back's going to come in motion. My first read that I like to look at, especially when you're seeing a potential blitz coming through or any man defense, is your A route just rubs through and gets a pretty good gain. Bringing it back through again, you're going to see here that your return route with Y or triangle is going to find plenty of room to get you open for some short yardage. And I really love this B route, especially as the corner route clears everything out. You're going to find that guy open in a pretty good window. But an adjustment you can also make is putting your X receiver on a streak route, which will kind of clear them out, especially if you're maybe in the middle of the field or maybe you just don't have as much room on the left-hand side. Putting that X on a streak route is going to make sure that they clear out a lot more people. You see that they're pretty heavy in the box here, so we're going to have a much different look for Miami at this point. But I love hitting this angle route with our halfback, because when you hit that, they are gone for days. If the safeties are not back there and they're playing sort of a man-zero blitz, you're going straight to the house. Iowa State has a formation called Hulk in the I form, and they have another play called Halfback Sweep, which is so good. If you have a relatively fast halfback, you're going to notice that they're kind of beating all those guys out there. But as you can see right here, those edges get sealed and your running back can go absolutely to the house. UAB may not be a very good team overall, but in the gun Y off trips formation, they have a DIY halfback direct reverse play that is absolutely nasty. This is a play that I think you can run pretty much any side of the field that you want to, and it's going to catch people off. First of all, it's a direct snap to your halfback, so it bypasses your QB. And then second, you can either take it all the way to the outside or that side if you want, or you can hand it off to the guy in the slot that's coming over using the left bumper or L1. So for example, we'll take this handoff and we'll cut up, we'll find a couple of yards here, which is great. At the same time, we can hand this ball off on the reverse and you can find some room here and you can see where this play can be deadly if you have higher rated players. The important part though is just to read your blocking and see what's available for you. If you can kind of bait those defenders in, get to the edge, you can go straight to the house. Western Michigan's going to make an appearance in this list with the wing slot offset formation using the shift jet touch pass. One of my favorite things in college football 26 are these sort of double shifts or double motions you can find. This is being more of a double shift. You're going to see that both of these guys on the left-hand side are going to move over. And again, the chaos is going to set in for your opponent. So now he's immediately going to send this guy in motion. You have a jet touch pass with two guys that are now sealed on the edge, and that's going to be a first down a lot of the time. If you change your mind on this play, you can immediately just flip the play like you would any other play out there. And now your opponent is trying to figure, oh, this is going to be an inside zone. And as soon as you hit A to hike the ball or X to hike the ball, two guys now shift into motion, and you've got, again, a jet touch pass coming over to that far side, which is going to scare a lot of people. The important thing about this play, though, is that there are a lot of double moves or double shifts in this exact same formation. So you have shift, jet, power, read. You're also going to have a jet pass fake zone. You have a zone fake jet. You've just got a lot of different movement here that can really set people up. So they're going to see you come out in this formation and be really scared. Texas Tech is going to be a fantastically fun team this year with their gun wide formation using the play PA double switch, and it is a doozy. This play just looks absolutely insane, and any wide formation is going to be tough to defend anyways. If you find that an opponent is running cover 4 a lot, they are going to hate you in so many different ways. But one of the main receivers you want to look at here is going to be your wide receiver. So when your opponent's in cover 4, you run this play, you hit him with that little bit of that play action, and your wide receiver, a lot of times against cover 4, especially cover 4 quarters and palms, is going to cook them. Your B and your X receivers as well are going to be fantastic. You also have your running back for a bit of a dump off. So if you see a lot of pressure, you just need a couple of yards, cool, get it to your halfback. Come back with your play action. You can also see that your B and your X receivers are oftentimes going to be open. There's going to be a lot of mismatches and sort of hitches that are going to come out in the deep field. But I love to sort of pass the lead down a little bit so my wide receiver, I can click on and come to it when you're looking at these deep crossers. If you do that, these guys are going to be a little bit more successful, but sometimes they're just going to outright beat their defender, and you've got a nice big play regardless. At number 9, we're picking up with Oregon's doubles, Y off weak formation, and the play that we're looking at here is going to be the orbit RPO read Y flat, and it is one of my favorite ones in the game. This one's crazy for a lot of reasons. You can treat it like a normal RPO and just have a little two-man game with your running back and your QB about either giving it to the running back or taking it. You have your slot receiver coming down that goes off this orbit route into a wheel. There's just a lot here. In its most basic form, you can treat it just like a typical RPO without even having to worry about a pass. You could go here, you could tap A, and then you could take off with your quarterback for a good chunk of yards. The important thing here is if you don't want to give it to your halfback, you want to make sure you can have the passing play. Either you need to tap one of those icons or you need to give your QB a moment to actually do something. And if you got a fast QB, again, you can see where you can get out of there quick. There have been variations of this play before in college football and in Madden, but this one just has a lot of different wrinkles. Getting it to the tight end here in space is always going to be dangerous, especially if you have a team like Oregon where they've got tight ends that are agile. But if you want to try to get it to your orbit route, you need to go ahead and make sure that you hold down A so that you keep that ball here. And then if you've got a fast guy going down the field, it's curtains for the defense every time. There is also a post-sit route kind of by your X or your square receiver here, so you can put your guy in motion. And if you want to actually throw the pass in here, you have to hold down A so that you don't give it to your running back. And then when he sits down on that route, you can find him pretty easily for a first down. And for play number 10, we have USF's playbook, and we're using the wide bunch formation, and we're going to be looking at the play that is called RPO Read Screen. Now, wide formations in general are super great to run in because a lot of times the defenses are going to be stretched so far to the sideline that you can absolutely cook them. And having a bunch out there is pretty crazy. So here, one of our first reads is going to be the B receiver. He's going to have 2 blockers ahead of him. We're going to watch, see what that slot guy does. They all back up, and you've got yourself a pretty easy 8, 9, 10 yards. Keep in mind, this is really difficult to read, so if you see these defenders that are those 3 that are over there kind of come to the middle of the field, you know that that guy is going to be open. But if you don't see them, don't throw it because it's probably going the other way. So for example, here, those guys backed up, we hand it off to the halfback, and again, another easy first down. This time we have 2 guys over on that far right side. They step back, and you've got sealed blocking with, again, an easy game. But my favorite thing about any of these read screens is that you can actually keep it with your quarterback as well. Simply hold down A, and then you've got the ability to scramble with a mobile QB that can, again, torch a defense. But with this wide formation being an RPO, you can obviously keep either quarterback. This should make it really tough for defenses to guard you, and you're going to gash them for a run more often than not. If you love these tips and you want more, I've got more like this every single week on my channel, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And I've got ebooks. You can use the QR code on the screen or the link down below in the description to get ebooks to a particular formation or school to really help you out. Be safe, be smart, and tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.